targeting technology, the House Judiciary Committee gearing up for an antitrust investigation into major tech companies, promising a top-to-bottom review of the market power held by these giant technology platforms. This as Apple CEO Tim Cook is denying an Apple monopoly, arguing that his company does not have a dominant share in any market. Joining me right now is Georgia Congressman and ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Doug Collins. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, Maria. How are you?
First off, let me hear about your investigation in the Judiciary Committee into these technology companies. How does this differ from the DOJ's investigation? What should we expect?
Well, Maria, they really are different, and DOJ is looking into other issue, and the FTC is looking into the legal side of it, and that's something that they need to do. But what we're doing in the House Judiciary Committee is taking an overall approach. These are hearings that, just like we've had many times before, to say exactly where are these companies and how are they dominating the market. You know, look, from a capitalist perspective, big is not necessarily bad. The question is how is that dominant market share affecting other competitors in the market? And then also looking at privacy, and then also looking at how it affects the downstream ad revenue, such as in newspapers and other things. These are hearings that are, for the first time, are just going to open it up and let everybody come to the table and talk about what is going on in this new era of technology and how it's being used in the marketplace.
Your colleague, Kevin McCarthy, GOP leader, has also said that these companies are censoring conservative conversation going into the 2020 election. That obviously is important.
It's very important. The American people need to understand that the power that these companies have and the market reach that they have through their social media platforms is something that's very important, and they cannot be picking and choosing winners. That's not their job, and if they are, then they're going to have to understand that they can't have the safe harbor protections and others that they have been looking at for so long. They understand that, and I think they're understanding that their image has been tarnished over the last year and a half. These are the reasons that they need to come to the table, explain what they're doing, why they're doing it, and be very open going into another election cycle, that they make sure that they are being an honest platform in the process.
So when's your first hearing?
This coming up later on this month, I believe.
All right, so we will be watching that. We know that the hearings will take place, and we will see who shows up at that hearing to see what happens next in this story. You are also back from the border. I want to talk to you about the crisis at the border. House Democrats passed a bill, passing a bill aimed at protecting the so-called dreamers, immigrants brought to the United States illegally as children. It's not expected to pass the Senate. I spoke with Vice President Mike Pence about this. Here's what he said.
We've got a crisis on our southern border. You traveled there very recently. You saw it firsthand, as did your viewers on this program. I mean, we're on track to have more than 1 million apprehensions at our southern border. And yet Congress, some in Congress continue to focus on investigations, baseless allegations, while literally last month alone, more than 118,000 people were apprehended at our southern border. And Congress continues to refuse to act to close the loopholes that are being used by cartels and drug traffickers to entice people to make the long and dangerous journey north to our southern border.
The president said he's got a big league announcement on the border. Can you tell us anything about that, what we should expect from the president?
What I can tell you is the American people can be confident that this president is going to continue to take such action necessary to see the Congress do its job, to address the crisis on our southern border, and to have our neighbor to the south in Mexico do more to prevent this massive wave of people that are coming across our border.
And of course, Congressman, the big news was that the president is threatening tariffs on Mexico if Mexico does not help. So tell us about your visit to the southern border last week. And do you think we're going to get a deal here? I assume you don't want to have a fight with Mexico just at the time that you need USMCA passed. You've already got pressure on the Democrats to get that bill to the floor.
No, we don't, Maria. But I think the interesting thing is they're here today. They're having, it's my understanding, they're having conversations beginning today on this issue that we need to fix. Here's the problem. The Democrats yesterday actually went to the floor and passed another green light. They just put, instead of trying to fix a condition at the border, they passed another green light incentive for folks to come, saying all you've got to do is make it to the U.S. and you'll be given a path to citizenship or a legal status. And that is just the wrong way to go about it. At the border last week, it was heartbreaking. When you see folks coming across the border bringing young children, when you see family units, 3,000 of which have been confirmed as fraudulent, when they're actually, one of the reports that we had is they're actually borrowing, renting, buying children to come across the border. A Honduran male 2 weeks ago, 51 years old, brought a 6-month-old that was not his child, so that he knew that once he got here, he would be put into the system without being really checked. We've got a problem down there, and here's the problem. I put a solution on the board. I've said, let's fix Flores, let's fix the asylum standard, let's fix the trapping and victims unit. Here's my challenge to the Democrats. You don't have a plan. Your plan undoubtedly is open borders and bashing our Border Patrol agents. If that's your plan, you need to get a reality check. Go down there and be honest with the American people and put forward a plan to fix this instead of passing bills on the floor that are going nowhere that just simply give an incentive to people to come here.
Yeah, so do you think that the Mexicans and the U.S. will come up with a deal before these tariffs are hit?
I hope so. If they don't, I think it'll be shortly thereafter. I think the Mexican government understands that they have a problem, especially now that you have folks from Africa coming in through their borders, and they're coming up, through the Rio Grande Valley and other places. We saw that last week. We saw 1,101 group come through last week in El Paso while I was there.
Wow.
This is something they can help fix this. They understand it. They've got a problem as well, but coming from the Northern Triangle countries in Central America, they have a part to play here. We have a part as well. It is Congress. Maria, I'll tell you one story. I went up to a Border Patrol agent, and I shook their hand. I said, I appreciate what you're doing. And he looked at me, and I said, y'all keep it up. He said, we're doing our job. You do yours. And he was very kind, but he was very firm about it. This falls to the Congress of the United States to fix. It falls to a committee chairman who is derelict in his duty because he is so basically bent on attacking this president. He is refusing to work on immigration issues. Chairman Nadler, come to the table. It's time for you to begin to work.
Yeah, no, you're right. I saw the same things when I was at El Paso, where you actually just see people crossing while you're standing there talking to the Border Patrol people. That's how active it is.